f of n becomes our theta in that case for the t of n, right?
Yes. So in this case, theta n squared plus epsilon gives you the lower bound. So that means that epsilon of 1, so theta n cubed basically is the lower bound for our f of n. Right, so f of n dominates that particular thing, and this regularity condition holds, and that is why we directly have theta of n. Yes.
Do I need to check that regularity condition?
Not usually, because for all polynomial functions of n, it usually applies implicitly, but it's a good thing to check because there are certain cases where this condition does not hold. Okay. Now, we have t of n equals to 4tn by 2 plus n squared by log n. Again, we have the same weird issue that we had earlier, that we do not have any epsilon greater than 0, and for all n raised to the power of epsilon, it is going to dominate log of n. So in that case, we cannot apply master method to this particular case here, right? Now, I guess somebody asked, yes, Brian asked if this was always an integer. So this is an example where epsilon is not an integer, but it is still greater than 0. So we have a equals to 4 for this particular equation here, b equals to 2, we have n log ba equals to n squared, and f of n is 2.5. If we add 0.5 to it, that gives you the lower bound, but the tight lower bound for this particular function. And then that essentially means, since we are adding something to it, that essentially means we also need to check that regularity condition. That condition basically is 4n by 2 raised to the power of 2.5 and c raised to the power of 2.5. We can solve for that, and for c equals to 0.75, we can say that this applies, and so it becomes theta of n 2.5. Okay. So here we have another case where we have 4tn by 2 plus n squared log n. Now, this again brings you the same issues that we had earlier, where n raised to the power of epsilon is a omega of log of n. And it says that master method does not apply for every constant epsilon greater than 0. But I'll show you guys later that using an extended case for case 2, we can actually try and derive this particular problem and find out the complexity of this equation using master method. Okay.
So just for clarification, even if that epsilon was like 0.0001, that's still going to dominate your log n function,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you can't apply it.
Yes. But remember that the dominating function is different for all the cases, right? For case 1, it has to be dominated. For case 1, your equation has to dominate your function. For case 2, it has to be both O, big O, and big omega, like as in big theta. For case 3, your equation has to dominate the assumed function, that is big omega. So it depends on which dominating thing that you're talking about. Both,
right, and they all need to be dominating by a constant.
Yes, but depends upon what. So sometimes your equation needs to be dominated, so your merging equation needs to be dominated, that is for case 1. And sometimes your equation, your function, merging function needs to dominate your big omega function, right? That applies for case 3. Right, so it depends which function dominates. It's usually a good idea to find the closest, tightest match that you can, and then you just need to check whether it is big O or big omega or big theta that applies to this particular thing. In addition to this thing, essentially, that is where this subtraction of epsilon and addition of epsilon comes from. If we subtract epsilon, we are saying that essentially for some constant epsilon raised to the power of epsilon, we can dominate our function. And if we, for the third case, we are saying for some constant epsilon, our function will always be dominated. Even if we add epsilon to it, our function will be dominated by the f of n function. Okay. So essentially that is what we need to check. So if we want to check for case 1, we usually check for the case where we have n raised to the power of log base ba divided by f of n equals to big omega of n raised to the power of epsilon. The exact inverse of that would be checked by case 3, where we divide f of n by n log base BA, and then we check that if it is big omega of n raised to the power of epsilon. That comes from the fact that case 1 checks for big O's and little O's. Case 3 checks for little omegas and big omegas, right? And that is why we have this reverse, and this essentially comes from our limit discussion that we had earlier, where we were checking for the limits that is greater than 0 and less than 0. So that is essentially, this is where that particular thing comes from. And then we also have theta, that is case 2, that both of those things have to apply. You can also think of that as the limit needs to be greater than 0 but less than some particular constant c. But we don't need to check for that particular thing, because it always says that without even adding or subtracting an epsilon, f of n needs to be same as n log base BA. Okay. Now, with respect to those, we can also, we can basically check for different equations here. So here we have our merging function as n. Log base BA is 2, so we can say that n is dominated by n squared, and then we say that, okay, since it's big O of n squared, we can check case 1. Here we have n squared, where log base BA is log base 3 of 9, so that is again 2. N squared is theta of n squared, so we have to check and apply case 2. When we have 6 and 4, we have log base BA as 1.3, and we have our f of n as n. So n is little o of n raised to the power of n1 raised to the power of 1.3. So we can apply and check case 1, right? And so I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's do a few cases for case 3. So here we have 2t n by 4 plus n. Log base BA gets you 0.5, which is n dominates little omega of square root of n. So again, case 3 applies. Similarly, here we have log base BA equals to 0. So n log n will always dominate omega of 1. So case 3 applies, right? Now, we also have some more examples. I would like you guys to work on these examples, but let's look at this. So here we have our A value as n. So here in this particular case, our log base BA becomes slightly complicated. I want you guys to look into this particular thing. I think this one is provable. Can someone tell me if I can prove equation number 3 here? This one. Will this be, can this be proved using master method? Yes or no? And if yes, why? If no, why? Exactly. So in this particular case, our f of n needs to always be positive, as we said before we started with our master method, right? F has to always be positive, you're correct. So in this particular case, f of n is not positive, so master method does not apply. Now, similar to that, not similar to that thing, for this particular thing, we have Tn by 2 plus n times 2 minus cos of n. Now, in this case, I want you guys to again work on this, but I think if you look into it, case 3 might apply, but the regularity condition might not be applied. So look into that, because we have a function of cos n that becomes really difficult for doing n raised to the power of something. Okay. Any questions? Cool. So apart from directly applying the master method, we can also do some substitution tricks before to our equations, and then apply your master method or whatever method that we want to apply. So this actually is a segue to our substitution method, but before we do that, let's look at what we mean by the general changing of variables, right? So here, let's say that I have t of n equals to 2t of n minus 1 plus 1. This is what we are showing here is not substitution method, but we are actually substituting those variables, but in a sense, we are changing those variables. This is not substitution method because this also requires that we assume certain things, and I'll talk about substitution method later. But for this particular thing, let's look at the case where we have Tn equals 2t n minus 1 plus of 1. Now here, let's say that we are assuming n equals to log of m. In that scenario, we can say that m equals to 2 to the power of n. That essentially, once we substitute those values of n with log of m, we get t log of m equals to 2 times log of m by 2 plus 1. We get m by 2 because we have n minus 1. So we have log of m minus of log of 2 base 2 minus of something basically divides it out. So we have log of m by 2 plus 1. So we can then, let's assume that s of m equals to t of log m, which is t of n. So we can then say s of m equals to 2s m by 2 plus 1. And we just looked at examples using the recursion tree earlier, that 2t n by 2 plus 1 is the recursion tree where we have 1, we have 2, we have 4, we have 8, and so on. So in that case, our time complexity was theta of n. So similarly, when we apply this particular thing, we have s of m equals to theta of m, where m equals to 2 to the power of n. So we have t of n equals to theta of 2 to the power of n. So we can sort of simplify our particular cases, and also that was using, so also we can apply both recursion tree easily if we change those variables into some more easy variables, but we can also apply master theorem as well. So in this case, we have 2s m by 2 plus 1. Can someone tell me which case of the master theorem would this apply? Can we apply this particular equation? What is A, what is B, what is f of n? Let's start with that.
It would be case 1 because log b a would be 1 or and then f of n is 1, so it would be case 2.
No, we have to subtract one thing from it. So we have to subtract 1 from it to get the value of f of n equals to 1. So case 1 would apply, and for case 1, bring that up. Case 1, we have theta of log BA, and log BA is 1 in our case here. So in that case, we have theta of m, right? So master method can also be applied in this case. Remember that we started out with the condition that master method can only be applied to cases where we have A times T of n by B, right? So we said that master method can only be applied to cases where we have A, T, n by B plus of f of n. And that implicitly meant that we cannot do any cases where we have n minus something. But if we change those variables into something suitable for us, where here we change n equals to log of m, we are now able to apply master method, right? Let's look at t of square root of n plus 1. Again, this is not the traditional master method base case, but we'll see if we can replace some values and apply master method. So let n equals to 2 to the power of m. We are going to assume that this is the case. So square root of n is 2m by 2. We have t of 2 to the power of m equals to t of 2 to the power of m by 2 plus 1. T of n is to t of 2 to the power of m. Consider that as s of m. Now, if we consider that as s of m, we can then say s of m equals to s of m by 2 plus 1. Now, in this case, what condition applies?